Hey y'all, welcome back to the Hoffmann Homestead. Today we have exciting news. I don't know if you can hear the little tweet behind me, but we have just got our first chickens. Well, it's been about a week now. We got them Tuesday night, the first 6 Tuesday night, and then we just got another 4. I'll explain later, but we officially have all of our first flock of chickens. We do intend on these being laying hens. We are not in the business of meat chickens at this point. But I wanted to go ahead and spend some time with you guys today and talk about preparing to get chickens, because I know that's going to be something that a lot of people are looking into this year, or, you know, maybe doing the research to get chickens next year. So let's get into it. Okay, first off, a disclaimer. Obviously, I'm a new chicken mom. This is my first flock of chickens, so I do not know everything, and I don't even know many tricks. I just know the research that I've done in preparation for this moment and what I believe will happen in the next 6 to 9 months. So that's what we're going to talk about. If you're looking for an expert, it ain't here, but here we are. So what are some of the things that you need to do before you consider your chickens? Number 1, you need to look into your area's laws, regulations, and rules on chicken keeping. There are often limits to how many chickens that you can have, and many towns, cities, counties restrict if you can have a rooster or not. So you want to look into those rules before you even think about how many chickens or what kind, etc., etc. I know of, too many people that go and get too many chickens, or just plain old get chickens without knowing if they can have them or not. And that's just not responsible pet parenting. So make sure that you look into that first. After that, I would say you get to do the fun part, and that's deciding what types of chickens you're going to get. There are many different breeds that have different qualities and different traits. So my goal is personally to have enough eggs to feed my family, and have enough in extra eggs that I can either give them to friends and family in need if I need to, or sell enough to cover the cost of my chickens, because they are going to be a monthly expense, probably $50 or so to make sure that I have enough feed and treats and whatnot for them to continue to care for them. So that's my goal. I want enough for me, my family, and a little bit extra to cover the cost of their feed. I don't want to run an egg business at this point in time. I still have less than an acre in a small town, so I don't want to be overrun with eggs. I want just that much. However, you guys may be looking to run an egg business, have enough chickens to support your family, or at least a little extra income on the side. And if that's your goal, then you may want to look at breeds that produce a lot and decide how many you need from there, depending on how much you want to make from that. If you're just looking to feed your family, a good flock of 6 may be good for you. That may be, well, depending on how many eggs you eat and how many are in your family, that may be good for you. So figure out what your goal is. I say that in every single video when we're planning for something, because it is the most important thing. You need to know what you're in it for. You don't need to know how many this person got or how many this person got. You need to know what your goals are and figure it out from there. So oh, they're all sleeping in a little corner. I gotta show you. Look at those little dudes. Or little chicks. Ah, so cute. Okay. So, once you know what you're in for, what you're in it for, then you can start doing the fun bit and go for your breeds. I am personally someone that is looking for the beauty in what I do. So while I do want eggs, and that is the number 1 goal, I also want them to be beautiful. I I want to look at a basket of eggs and see 7 different colors, and I just want to have fun with it because I think that that is important. I think that's an important part of this life, is having fun with it, enjoying it, because homesteading is hard work. Animal husbandry is hard work, and I am very aware of that, but I want to make it enjoyable too. Not just enjoyable for the end result, but also all of the pieces in between. So I personally was going for different colored eggs. I didn't want all of one variety because they are good producers. I didn't want a bunch of just brown eggs. I went for some Easter eggers. I went for olive eggers. I went for some chickens that produce dark brown eggs, some with light brown eggs, some with white eggs. So I went with a bunch of different varieties, and I will tell you about those varieties in just a moment, but make sure that you know what you want in your end result. Do you want all brown eggs, or is that going to give you the heebie-jeebies and you're going to want all white eggs so they look like store-bought eggs? You do you, boo. So, yeah, my varieties. I got, I think at this point, 3 Easter eggers, 2 Easter eggers. They lay blue, green, pink, and yellow eggs, depending on whatever they're feeling like that day, I guess. Olive eggers, they lay an olive green egg. And then I got a brown leghorn, which ironically lays white eggs. That's the only white egger that I got. I also got a silver laced Wyandotte. I got some other stuff too. Oh, a cinnamon queen, which is a cute little brown chick that lays light brown eggs. So we'll have a couple shades of brown in there. And then a barred rock, which is just a pretty chicken that lays brown eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there was a white chicken. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get pictures into these videos and show you guys, because they're pretty cool. But if I can figure that out, I'll try to throw snapshots in here. Anyway, we got 10 chickens total. I love the colorful eggs, specifically the blues and greens, the green more than anything. But so I was really looking for those Easter eggers and olive eggers. So I've got 3 of the Easters and 2 of the olives, which that's half of my flock right there in colored eggs. So it's gonna be a blast. But they're all so cute. Also, I didn't realize that chicks like laid down when they slept. I figured they'd like tuck in. They lay down, and the first time I saw that, y'all, I was scared. I thought one was now it's cute, but it was scary. Okay, so enough about varieties. Let's say that you have picked your varieties, you know what you want. Gonna be a good idea to find a store that has a large variety, or look into those stores' limits. So in my state, lots of our stores have a minimum limit of 5. So you have to get at least 5 chicks, because chickens are social animals, so they want to have more of themselves around. So I found a store that actually does not have a limit, and they've got a decent variety. They had the olive egger that I was looking for. So I went there both times to get our chickens, because we went once to get 6, and then got the approval to get 4 more. So we went ahead and got 10 chickens. But anywho, I'm very excited. Thanks, by the way, for that approval. So what was I talking about? Oh, so stores may have limits, so you're going to want to see if you can find a store that has your varieties that you're looking for, or you can order them online. I have never done that, obviously. Went to a store. So you can look online. There are different hatcheries and things. I have no recommendations on those things. I know that there are some YouTubers that have gone through hatcheries, so I imagine that it's a good experience. I just don't have any recommendations on that. So that's a thing that you can look into. So let's talk about the stuff that you need before you get your chickens, because it's really important that you have everything that you need for them, right? So in the chick stage, you're going to need not a whole lot, but you're going to need a few things. I would say one, a tote. So I have our chicks in this like Christmas decoration tote. Thank you, my mother-in-law. And then I don't love this heat lamp thing, but it's working for us. You can do a heat lamp, or there are these, oh, I can't point in videos. There's a heat lamp. There are also brooder plates that you could get for chicks. I think that those are awesome. My sister-in-law used one to brood her chicks, and I think that that's awesome. I had the heat lamp and I didn't have a brooder plate. So we will need some kind of heat source to keep them warm, because chickens have to be like 95 degrees when you first get them. Sorry. You also have to have some means of keeping the draft off of them, which I think that this bucket, tub, whatever you call it, is doing a pretty decent job. But it's got to be draft free, it's got to be warm, and it's got to be contained. And then of course you want to get a waterer and a feeder. So these I borrowed from my mother-in-law. There is the waterer and the feeder. Pretty simple designs. They hold enough for a day or two. And then as you saw, you're going to need some kind of bedding. Do not use cedar. That is a super no-no for chickens. But you can use something like pine shavings. Fairly cheap at, you know, your local farm store. That's where we got ours. We got it at the same place that we bought our chickens from. So those are the basic necessities of the supplies that you're going to need for your chicks. Then of course you're going to need food. So they do have, let's roll. They do have a chick starter. That's this stuff. I don't have any preference on brand or whatever. This is just the one that we found. It was about $17 for this. I picked it up, so it can't be 50 pounds. Oh, it's 40 pounds. Go me. So this 40-pound bag was about $17. I think it'll probably last us probably until they're ready to go out. Maybe. We'll see. We might have to get one more, but now that we have 10. But yeah, just get yourself a chick starter. That's the food that they're looking for. And then we got ourselves some chick grit. This is like, it looks like little rocks. It's kind of insane. Let me open it up real quick and show you. See my peppers? They're doing great. Reminds me I have plants outside to bring in. Yeah, so here's what that grit looks like. It literally looks like little pebbles. So chickens don't have teeth. They use like rocks and stuff to help them digest their food, which more power to you, I guess. I'm gonna give this to the chickens. Try not to wake them up. Sorry, guys. Anywho, so that's really all that we've gotten for our chickens. We don't need treats at this point. That's probably going to be closer to the 4-week mark that we start giving them like mealworms and stuff like that. All of that so far, it has costed us probably $80, including the chickens. Excuse me. And the chickens probably cost us 40 of that. So it's not too bad on the setup for chicks. However, you should not be getting chicks unless you are ready for chickens. That means having a chicken coop outside that is secure, having a run for them if you're choosing to do so, we will have a run. It's already out there. We just need to finish the fencing, which we have 6 weeks to do so. We already have a chicken coop as well. And of course, the supplies that you're going to need for chickens. There is zero reason that you should get chicks before you have a place to put full-grown chicken. That's my mom spiel. That's all I'm giving you, I promise. So, I mean, that's it. Chickens aren't super difficult. I've not had any illnesses. Obviously, I've had chickens for a week. I am not a professional here. We are learning together. But from what I have researched, and I have researched for the last 2 years in preparation of getting chickens, they're not hard to keep. They're the easiest farm livestock type of animal to keep. And they poop breakfast. So how cool is that? Here's some free chicken B-roll. You see how they're laying? Isn't that just terrifying? Like, are y'all okay? Okay, so now let's talk about how to take care of them after you've got your chicks. Again, not an expert. This is based off of the research that I've done so far. So it's really easy. You keep them clean. Not the birds themselves, you don't have to bathe, but you do need to check their butts. I do it every day. There's something called pasty butt, where basically like their poop gets stuck to them and then it's just not good. So check their butts, keep them clean, and then keep their area clean. Chickens poop, it is what it is. But if they poop in their food area or poop in their water area, or there's just an excessive amount of poop, man, how many times can I say poop? Obviously that's just not a healthy environment, right? And we want to keep them as healthy as possible. So, so far I'm changing out their water at least once a day, though they like to make a mess. I don't know if you saw, but my waterer is actually sitting up on a brick. That's so they don't walk in it. So at least if they do walk in poop, they're not putting it everywhere in their water. And then, yeah, cleaning it out, keeping it clean, and making sure that they have plenty of food and plenty of water. They're growing, so just like a baby, you don't want them to go hungry. And then make sure they don't get too hot, they don't get too cold. Their heat lamp right now is, I think it's in a good spot. You'll notice if they get too hot, if they're like clinging to the sides of their walls or won't go directly under the heat lamp. You'll notice that I have the heat lamp on one side and this side is clear. That way if they get too hot over yonder, they can come back this way to cool down. So they have a place to escape from the heat. Just as uncomfortable, you don't want them to get too cold. So you want to make sure that, hey, don't peck your sister. You want to make sure that they're not showing any signs of being too cold. That's going to be, always huddling together. They're going to sleep together and do all of those things. But if they just won't move away from a giant huddle, they may be too cold. You may want to put that heat lamp or brooder plate closer. But yeah, you want to monitor their temperature. Why are you picking at her? That's rude. I'll come pick at you. Okay. Anywho, so don't let them get too hot. Don't let them get too cold. Don't let things eat them. I have a cat and a dog that are both very curious to get into this room, and they are not allowed. Give them water, give them food, give them some grit. Not too much grit. The bag actually says to do it in moderation and make sure chicks don't eat too much. So I give them a handful a day and mix it with their food. But yeah, are you trying to fly out already? That's hilarious. Please don't do that. I don't have a cover on here yet. That's about to change today. I thought I had maybe a week to go, but that little guy wants to fly and I ain't having it. I ain't having it because I have peppers in here that I don't want them to eat. Anywho, yeah, it's really simple care. Feed them, water them, keep them clean, keep their area clean, and keep them safe. That's really all that they need. And then once they go outside, it's kind of the same. Make sure they have food, make sure they have water, keep them safe. And I mean, I won't have to monitor their temperature so much because they'll just kind of do their own thing. But man, you are zooming. Yeah. And then name them. I haven't done that yet. I know at least one of them is named Pepperoni. Thank you, Chandler, my youngest son. And another one is named Seed because he saw Seed and thought that was a good name. So, don't know which one's which yet, but I'm going to get to cleaning this thing out and then let that be a thing. I forgot to sign off the video, so thanks for coming. Please like, comment, subscribe, and you can do anything you set your mind to, so just do it.